so you too outwardly appear righteous to men, but inwardly you are full of hypocrisy and lawlessness. And this is what we have to do if we want to become a powerful, transformative church or family or person or couple or whatever entity we're talking about, is we have to focus on the groaning, the inner chambers inside of us, and doing the practices that first attune and align us from the inside out, and allow making sure that what the groaning inside of us is connected to what we're doing on the outside, instead of trying to become professionals about praying or saying the right words or doing the right things, but stepping back and going inward first and going in out. So look at Matthew 3. This is a good one too. Going back. This is more subtle, but you should better get this. Now, John himself had a garment. Now think about what we just read, about the Pharisees and the scribes. Not all of them, the Pharisees, scribes, and religious leaders, and how, think about how they operate, allow them to operate. And John himself had a garment of camel's hair and a leather belt around his waist. His food was locusts and wild honey. Then Jerusalem was going out to him in all Judea and all the districts around the Jordan. So John's becoming more and more popular. And people are going out to him to be baptized. They were baptized by him in the Jordan, and as they confessed their sins. So baptism was a sign of repentance, a metanoia, a turning from one's previous behavior and going and facing God. So all these people are flooding out to be baptized by John. Listen what John says. But when he saw many of the Pharisees and Sadducees coming for baptism, he said to them, "You brood of vipers, who warned you to flee from the wrath to come?" Who warned you? Why did he say that? Why did he assume that someone warned the Pharisees?
Well, because they're not really talking to God, so he's not warning, right?
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, it's based on the assumption that they don't have the inner, they're not connected to the sound of God, so therefore they're just following whatever people say.
Okay.
So they're following the crowds.
Right.
So this is where everybody's going. Let me check it out, see what's going on over here.
Okay.
So who you brought a vipers, serpents, who warned you to flee from the wrath to come? Therefore, once again, bear fruit in keeping with repentance. In other words, don't just come out here and get baptized and you're not really going to change your life. You're not really going to change. Do not suppose that you can say to yourselves, "We have Abraham for our father." For I say to you that from these stones God is able to raise up children of Abraham. The axe is already laid at the root of the trees. Therefore, every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. And we can put that, every tree that doesn't have roots, every tree that's rotted out from the they're not producing fruits. Neither make the tree, this is Matthew 12. I'll just read this for time's sake. Either make the tree good and its fruit good, or make the tree bad and its fruit bad. For the tree is known by its fruit. Once again, you brought in vipers. How can you, being evil, speak what is good? If your roots are not there, how can you say words that are good? Even if you're saying the right words, the words have no power. That's what I really want you to get. What gives your words the power is the roots that they emerge from. So you can say like we always say, some people talk to God and some people pray. Some people talk to God and some people pray. The people who talk to God, they're just doing that. They're just talking. They're just sending out words to God. The people who pray, they're praying from that. They have roots, and their prayer, their words are emerging from the roots of the Spirit up into Shamahim. So, for the mouth speaks out of that which fills the heart. And the evil man brings out of his evil treasure what is evil. But I tell you that every careless word that people speak they shall give an accounting for it in the day of judgment. For by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. So, now we go full circle. Genesis 3. Now the serpent was more crafty than the beast of the field. We're almost done. And we're going to end on time. And the beast was, and the any beast of the field, which the Lord God had made. And he said to the woman, indeed, has God said, you shall not eat from any tree of the garden. And the woman said to the serpent, from the fruit of the trees of the garden we may eat, but from the fruit of the tree which is in the middle of the garden, God has said, you should not eat from it nor touch it, you will die. Now, Eddie hit it right on the head. And listen, what is the serpent trying to do here? The serpent is trying to make this a conversation about what God said.
Right.
Trying to make a conversation about words.
Right. Yeah.
Think about it. Okay. So the verse, he said to the woman, indeed, has God said? So now we're getting a discussion about God said this, or God didn't say this, God said this. And so now they're having all these conversations about words, and the serpent says to the woman, you surely will not die. So he's lifting up another contrary code, different word for you. For God knows that in the day that you eat of it, your eyes will be open, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Now, so last question. God commanded that Adam and Eve not eat from the tree in the middle of the garden. Now, this is the last question. From where does a command emerge? From where does a command emerge? This is the last question. Where do commands come from? God, yes, but okay. Let's say in a general sense, where does a command come from? Leader, mouth. It got me with a money, so a command comes from authority. It comes from authority. So a command. I mean, you can't command something that when you have no authority to command it. So when someone gives a command, the command is not about what the person says. The command is the person has authority to give it. So the only thing I'm saying is, and this is a particular word, we don't get to that. We want to focus on that. But what I'm saying is that the serpent wanted to make it about words, but the fact is that God commanded it.
Right.
Because God is God, and that's His authority and prerogative to do so. Okay. So as soon as you put it up into making a discussion about words, you're losing the whole point of it. Because of the authority that God said it. That's it. The power comes not from the words, the power comes from the authority. So always when we're looking at this, so in summary, listen. Everything that you do, and I don't want you to get obsessive about this, but I just want you to be aware of this. Don't beat yourself up. But you should try to move into the trajectory, try to move in the direction of bending towards looking for building roots for everything that you do. So I want there should be roots in my prayer life, roots in my worship life, roots in what I do. And it's not to say you're gonna have a light from heaven every time you do something. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that through the simplest way to do it is you need to, as we've been talking about, you have to spend time in silence. You have to spend time, because that's how you cultivate and that's how you become attuned to the whispers of your spirit. The spirit is always whispering something to us, and that's how we make those subtle turns, those subtle turns and shifts that we need to make. Because there are some things that we miss so much because we're so myopic, we're so narrow-minded, we're so focused on what we want to see at that particular moment that we miss those shifts that really can make a big difference in our life because we never spend any time listening. The religion of Jesus is all about listening. Jesus listened. He listened, and then he acted, and then he taught, and then he spoke, and then he healed. He listened, and then he stopped. and then he listens some more, and everything. And see, now we don't have time to do that. We just want to do everything, but we don't want to cultivate that being which is necessary to really live a transformative life. So the key really is to don't beat yourself up. And I'm not saying every day you're gonna hear God smack you on the face, but cultivate a discipline, cultivate a rhythm of life in which on a daily, weekly, monthly basis you're always listening, because the Spirit is always whispering something to us. It's always, and it's very subtle, but those subtle shifts make a huge difference in our perspective, in how we move in the world, and how we see the world, and how we see other people, our relationships, and everything. If we just move from stop focusing so much on what the body's saying, go a little bit down, stop focusing so much on your thoughts, on your feelings, and go a little bit open and be open to the groanings of the Spirit. And then once you get something from there, even if it's just a nugget, then pray from that. Pray from what you do know. Pray from that nugget, whatever that nugget may be. Pray from that, and that's a lot much more powerful than to pray on these other levels. And this is the pattern in which moves us closer to a really transformative way to live out our faith. Yes, Mary.
Pastor, when I was a little girl and we would go to church with my mom, and I would hear people moaning, like groaning, in their churches.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the same thing as like what we're talking about?
Yeah, in some instances it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, really like that old school church. We've lost a lot of that old school church. We've lost a lot of that, because I mean, there's a lot of, this is, when people think, sometimes people think, they look at this stuff, they think it's new school. It's really not. It's really very old. It's really old. Like I told you when I first came, I said, Union thinks they're traditional church. I'm more traditional than all of y'all. Because I'm going back to the first century. Ain't nothing more traditional than that. So I'm more traditional than all of y'all. I mean, anybody goes back to the first century. So yeah, but there's a lot of that. The rocking in the old church. That's a meditative state. The groaning. So yeah. That's a good point. Questions? Is this making sense? Okay. So we'll continue on next week. We'll probably shift to the next principle in the pattern. So I think we got a good appreciation for this. So we'll go on to the next model, and we'll go a little bit deeper with that. If y'all have any questions, if you have any questions, email me or send it to me. And please make sure, if you're not getting my emails, shoot me an email so that you will be on the email list. I want everyone to, because if anything changes with class, you all want to make sure I can contact you all. Okay? Sound good? Yeah.
So you said you purchased the rounding mat? Maybe not this week, but when you said that, like, I know you do extensive research on things before you make purchases. Manufacturers, probably
Yeah, I'll send it out. All right, let us stand if there's no questions. Good seeing you all.